environmentalist, and don't get me wrong, I treasure all of our natural resources. But I think there's so much distortion about that, and I think that it's just getting in the way of being able to create jobs.
No question. We have a situation now in Wisconsin, a big company that develops heavy equipment, heavy machinery for the mining industry. Well, they had completed a big contract with in India, but the Indian company, along with the Indian government, needed financing from the EXIM Bank, Export-Import Bank, which is a U.S.-based bank that provides money for these things. Well, it's now governed by Obama appointees, and the EXIM Bank board said, no, we're not going to lend money to the Indians to buy this equipment because we're concerned about the environmental impacts in rural India of this kind of mining. Now that's thousands of jobs in Wisconsin. Look at what's happening in the Gulf. Now this was a tragic accident. But the response was slow, but the long-term impact not only of the spill, of course, is there, but on the economic side, we've now put a moratorium on drilling. Why? Because, don't just do something, or don't just stand to do something was kind of the reaction. And I think, God forbid, it's like adding insult to injury to those people who live in the Gulf Coast region. And I think that's very unfortunate. So I concur.
There's also an international insult. The Dutch, I think within hours, they have some very sophisticated ships owned by the government.
Yes.
Offered them free. And these things scoop up 3 times the oil that we've got going. And they would have been over here. They also know how to build dikes. They're really good at that. Right. And they were turned down because of the union.
Well, what are we good at in this government? We're good at sending the Attorney General down there to start filing lawsuits. And, the first thing we have to do is stop the leak and clean up the mess. And there's plenty of time to hold people accountable. They should be, don't get me wrong, but by the same token, we got to deal with the problem first. Yes, ma'am.
I had a question. The court told Obama he couldn't do that, and
yes.
They did not allow him to stay.
That's right.
Does that mean drilling takes place?
Yes. Well, let's put it this way. It will continue through the process and will probably go up for some review at the Supreme Court level. Yes. My understanding is that there was a stay placed on that moratorium established by the White House, but that fight isn't over. They've sort of dug their heels in the administration. But I mean, just the fact that would be their reaction. Leave it to this group, and they're going to say, okay, we'll stop all oil drilling. I understand their problems, but you think about it. When we went and permitted this country to go to the moon, and we suffered very serious accidents along the way. We lost astronauts, but did we stop that process? Did we say, no, we're not, okay, enough, we're going to quit? No, we redoubled our efforts. We took a look at the safety and the things that we had to do, and by God, we got the job done. And we need that same kind of commitment here, because these are the same stakes. If we stop all domestic exploration for energy, if we say, no, we're not going to allow nuclear facilities, if we say we're going to put all our eggs in the basket of green energy, well, we're setting ourselves up for failure. And I'm not opposed to green energy, but when we say no at the exclusion of domestic drilling, at the exclusion of nuclear power, at the exclusion of developing clean coal technology, well, I guarantee you the cost of energy is going to go through the roof. Because what happened is that the proponents of alternative energy recognized that they couldn't make their case economically. It just isn't cost effective. And they couldn't bring the cost down. So the strategy was, rather than us bring our cost down, let's raise the price of traditional forms of energy, and then suddenly we look very attractive. But if we fix up the tab, all of us, the process. Anna, did you have any comment on any of those things, any issues that you wanted to address?